Something happened, man. I can't get my camera back. But anyway.
Go on, Culture. What's this? Let's go.
Okay, all right. So Star Wars Outlaws sales forecast has now descended into madness and hell. As you can see here, the estimated sales are down by 3 million, down from 8 million, which is just absolute bonker sauce. And I'm going to try the camera one more time. There we go. All right, it's just absolute bonker sauce. Estimated sales down by 3 million. This thing was supposed to make 8 million units sold. That was the plan for the first quarter. So Ubisoft is freaking out. Now, mind you, this comes on the heels of a financial report where the investors were asking them questions about this. And come to find out that the person over at Barclays was on the right track. The analysts predicted that there were going to be 8 million. Now they say it's about 5. The company hopes that Assassin's Creed Shadows will compensate for any sales shortfalls, but those numbers have been dwindling as well. So Ubisoft's upcoming AAA title, Star Wars Outlaws, was supposed to be a big success. It is not. The company's latest sales forecast predicts much tougher outcome. Ubisoft originally targeted $718 million in bookings for the second quarter, but the estimate has now been lowered to $553 million, which means they already know that's a lot of money. Yeah.
That's
crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and this is coming out of analysts from the Financial Times who, are right on the heels of Bank of America and Barclays here. They're concluding that Ubisoft desperately needs Star Wars Outlaws to hit big, but the game's non-existent hype paints a concerning picture for the French company. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the reason for the non-existent hype? It's models like this in the game.
Give us hot Asian chicks, all right? That's what the South Koreans have been doing.
But the woman, the actress, the model that they got to...
Yeah, she's hot.
She is smoking, and they give you this, beat in the face with an ugly stick for an hour.
This is what she looks like, guys.
Yeah, smoking.
I mean, that's quite a big difference there, to be fair.
And Jock and Crack Best Guy armor. Face. I know, but they've lowered the expectations from 8 to 5. The gloomy forecast.
Honestly,
yeah.
If a stormtrooper punched her, they'd literally break their hand on her jaw.
Oh yeah, and probably the armor there. So indeed, I mean, look, if she's got that kind of that bone structure in her face, I can now understand why barehanded she can knock a helmeted stormtrooper unconscious from behind, which is in this stupid game. Anyway, the gloomy forecast is troubling for Ubisoft, which has already been struggling with falling revenues and profits because you're making woke stuff. Last year, the company saw a sharp 18.1% drop in total revenue. Dude, losing almost 20% of your revenue? They reported net losses of $546 million compared to $113 million profit the year before. That's staggering amounts of money. I mean, you're talking a $659 million swing.
Well, they're down 5% today already.
Yeah, I know. They're so
holy shit.
Yeah.
They're down nearly 11% for the past 5 days.
And look at the 5-year decline, dude. It's like
over 5 years, 78.5% decline.
Yeah.
In stock.
Yeah.
I mean, that's bad.
That's because they went woke. And that was the point at which they went woke. They were on the way up, and now they're on the way down. Anyway, keep going. The situation about Ubisoft's business strategy is concerning. Particularly, its focus on popular but crowded open world and live service game models. The success of Star Wars Outlaws is extremely important for Ubisoft, but early reviews indicate it might not be the big hit the company needs. Have you seen this game? We've talked about this game, right? This game is so broken that the AI has the stormtroopers shooting into a wall.
Yeah, there was a video clip going around of, I can't remember who it was playing it, but literally all she had to do was duck into some grass, very clearly visible.
Yep.
And people were just running around very confused with where she was. I mean, what the fuck?
The stealth mechanic Yeah. Oh, also, a streamer was trying to stream the game in promotion of the game, showing people the gameplay on the speeder bike, and said, look, they worked really hard to make this a very expansive world, and everything seems to work. And right when he said that, the speeder bike went down through the world into that wonderful clipping Neverland where you are just at the point
Those
where
are
you
the
got to
best
reload
locations
a
I've
save.
heard.
It does it a lot. I mean, you can get stuck. Like you can get stuck places. You can slide down a mountain and not get back up. They've got all kinds of problems. But anyway,
Oh, it's just embarrassing, isn't it?
it is, and it looks ugly as sin. I mean, you can make a game that's in a desert that doesn't look like this. So anyway, the game received mostly positive feedback. Now they give you a link to this, but it's from shill critics. Critics have said it doesn't bring anything new to the table. It's seen as perfectly fine, but not exceptional. In other words, this is a serviceable game. You can play it, but you won't want to, which might not be enough to turn things around for Ubisoft. Ubisoft hopes that its upcoming game, Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is also a dumpster fire, a proper dumpster fire, will compensate for any sales shortfall. However, there are already concerns about this new title, especially the controversy surrounding the samurai protagonist, where we've talked about it before, Yasuke. So Shadows will need to sell, and this is already in doubt, 13.5 million copies to make up for the losses.
What?
Yeah. And Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which most people panned, only sold 13 million copies. So my guess is that's going to tank too. Anyway, there's a little bit more to this, but ultimately, their annual target revenue is 2.46 billion euro.
Wow.
They're done. So they have 4A titles in development. They can't master 2A or 3A titles. What
even is 4A? What is this?
There's no such thing. They're trying to say that their next version of games are going to be so mind blowing that they're 4A now.
Jesus.
Sausage. Anyway, when I found this, I immediately had to get a video up over on that game place, and it fed right into. Well, and the reason I found this is because the video that I dropped this morning is all about the fact that woke gaming is literally destroying the industry. And then what happens? Concord gets, removed today. It's like I predicted at the beginning of the year, Nate, I predicted that we would lose 9 game studios this year. We're already at 11 in 2024.
Wow.
So it's
I can't get over the fact that, and I mean, the analysts make sense, right? There really is no hype for this. And so they're like, well, 5 million copies down from 8. You know what's interesting about this, right? Star Wars. So let's just take that into account, right? So Star Wars, at one point, the biggest brands, IPs in the world, right? It was huge. One of the biggest IPs in the world. They don't think that a Star Wars game, an open world Star Wars game, they don't even think it's going to make 8 million copies. They think it's going to sell 5 million copies. Now, compare that to what they think Assassin's Creed Shadows has to do, right? 13 point whatever it is million. So they're betting on random shit, cultural appropriation, BBS, Big Black Samurai, coming in and chopping down Asians to save Star Wars. What?
Well,
the biggest franchise, one of the biggest franchises of all time.
It's pretty wild. Yeah, it's just crazy, right?
Out.
It needs to sell at least 13.5 million copies. It's not going to. That's the thing. Do you know what pre-sales look like for Assassin's Creed Shadows, Nate?
But look at the numbers. Assassin's Creed Valhalla sold 13 million copies. So they think Star Wars is going to sell less than half of what Assassin's Creed Valhalla did. I mean, that's embarrassing. They should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah. Well, Ubisoft is making garbage.
I understand why, but I'm just saying, I mean, under Disney's watch, Star Wars is worthless now. Like, it's not worth anything. Embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing.
Like I said, it can't sell 8 million copies. It may only sell 5. It may sell less. See, that's the other problem. I think it might sell 4 million copies, and it may not. This is the problem: is my expectations keep being subverted because everything is much lower than I expect. I've been playing games my whole life, basically, and this is not it, bro. This is not it.
No, it's really not.
And look, it's not isolated just to Ubisoft. I mean, we can scroll about in this article all we want, but this is coming to Take-Two Interactive, whether it be Rockstar or any of their other titles. It's coming. It's coming to CD Projekt Red. It's eliminated entire studios. I mean, the studio that released the new Saints Row reboot, Volition, they're gone forever. Bye bye.
Yeah.
It's like these were
dead and buried.
Yeah, these are big, powerful studios. And Sony's gonna. Do you think Firewalk Studios is going to be around anymore? It was solely created for this Concord game.
No, God, no. That's a one and done game studio. They're done.
Yeah,
one and done.
And they're over, right? And they don't know what to do with it. I told them they should have gone with a free to play model and monetize the game that way, but so that people could actually improve the aesthetics of those characters because they look like dog shit. But
yeah, no one wants to play like this. Yeah. That BBT, Big Black Tank.
By the way, there's another story. There's another story we didn't get to. There's another story we didn't get to related to Concord. There's a character named Baz. Baz was based on a person who otherly identifies that they basically turned that person into that a singer. They turned into that Baz character, like a real life person. It's like you were inspired by this stuff to do this in your game.
Love it. I honestly love it.
Yeah. Anyway,
love it. Shall we shuffle on?
Sure.
Oh no, sorry. Zombie Box Reviews says
no.
Star Wars, a crack-or story.
Now,
I respect it, mate. I respect it,
especially with that picture, right? I really like what happened to her face.
I know. It's like Dr. Mengele came and fucked her up. You know? You know Mengele, right? Oh my God, Culture! Please tell me you know Dr. Mengele.
Yeah, no. War
please,
criminal.
Who's
war
Dr.
criminal
Mengele?
Doctor. War criminal doctor. Terrible. Person.
Finally, good. Fine.
No,
good.
I didn't know that required a response.
Absolutely, it did. Absolutely, it did. People are retarded now, so absolutely, it deserves a response. I need to make sure I don't have a tard as a co-host. Okay. I'm sorry, Scott, but you've got to respond to these things.
Okay, all right.
I remember speaking to someone.
I'm not a retard.
And talking to them about Western civilization and talking to them about the Templar Knights and the Crusades, right?
Yeah.
And they were like, sorry, what?
Oh,
I was like, sorry, what? And they were like, what do you mean by that? I was like,
you don't know about the Crusades? Oh, by the way, that's,
so, mate, retards are everywhere.